Raw took place tonight in Cleveland, Ohio, and the show started off with some superstar arrivals into the arena, and that's when we saw both CM Punk and his wife AJ Lee at Raw tonight. I don't think it was announced AJ was going to be there, and when we see AJ, they show Becky in the background, and AJ doesn't notice her, and Becky is furious that AJ is on Raw. The show officially opens with Michael Cole and Corey Graves on commentary, revealing that Braun Breaker will be out of action indefinitely due to a hernia injury. I don't know exactly what happened. Uh, I guess it was when he bumped into the announce table on one of the shows. He does that a lot, but Braun Breaker's out indefinitely. I don't know if he's going to be out for WrestleMania, but there's a lot you can read into that. I don't even know if they know. So then Becky Lynch came out and she got on the mic. Then she was interrupted by AJ Lee. They go back and forth, and AJ brings up beating up Becky. She's beaten her at both WrestlePalooza and Survivor Series, made her tap out twice. Then Becky challenges her to a match at Elimination Chamber. AJ wants it to be for the belt. Eventually, the match is officially set for the show, and it will lead into WrestleMania. What I think is going to happen is AJ is going to beat Becky at Elimination Chamber, so she'll be 3-0, and then she'll probably have another match with her at WrestleMania, and that's when I think Becky will finally beat her and get the belt back. But I do think we're getting Becky and AJ at WrestleMania one way or another. They show the Vision heading to the ring backstage after this segment. And before I get into the Usos making their stupid Yeet entrance, I thought I should talk about something that happened this weekend. You know, a pretty big game, the big game, Super Bowl 60. I made my predictions on SmackDown. I had the Seahawks beating the Patriots 24-17. I was right. Just the score was nowhere near as close as I thought it would be. I did think the Seahawks would win. They won 29-13, and that score really wasn't even really a representative of how one-sided the game was. The Patriots just were not competitive. The Seahawks were just a much better team. So they were the best team all year, the Seattle Seahawks. They won the Super Bowl. They won Super Bowl 60. I'm sure it felt good for their fans to get back at the Patriots after they blew the last Super Bowl against the Patriots when they threw at the goal line. So Seahawks win. I'm now 2 for 2 with Super Bowl predictions. Had the Eagles beating the Chiefs last year too. I also thought it'd be a close game, and that was also a blow. So we'll see. Maybe I'll go 3 for 3 for Super Bowl 61, which is in Los Angeles next year. Anyway, going back to the Raw, the Usos make their stupid Yeet entrance. I don't give a shit. I hate the Usos. I hate Jey Uso. I not even hate Jimmy. Just Jay. I don't like watching him on my TV screen. I think the guy's horrible. He's obnoxious to me, and you know, it's not like his character is, but to me it's obnoxious. Like, it's unpleasant to see him. I don't want to see him. Then we got the World Tag Team Championships. Usos defending against Otis and Tozawa. Usos hit the 1D on Otis to retain. After the match, Byron Saxton interviews the Usos in the ring. Jimmy tells Jay to go qualify for the Chamber. Oh God, no. Then we get a CM Punk versus Roman Reigns video package. And Roman Reigns, by the way, is not going to be back on Raw until March. So he won't be there for the next 2 weeks. Great. This is what happens when you have a part-timer in a big match at WrestleMania. Yeah, he's a big star, but the problem is he's never on TV. And that hurts the show. Then Liv Morgan was out next with Dominic Mysterio. After the break, Liv says whoever she chooses will lose their belt at WrestleMania, whether it's Stephanie Vaquer or Jade Cargill. Then Stephanie Vaquer interrupts her, and she has that awful new generic theme music. It sucks. WWE is a cheap-ass company. They don't want to pay the fees to the people who produced Stephanie's old theme song, which is one of the best theme songs in WWE, or was one of the best theme songs. It was great. I helped her so much. It got her over. It got her over in NXT. This new theme song sucks. It's just so generic. It's something that, it's like you can put AI and tell them to come up with some generic regular theme song. And like, there's nothing to it. There's no soul. There's no identity. Nothing sticks out about it. It's like a backing track that you've heard a million times. It sucks. Def Rebel sucks. WWE is a cheap ass company. Screw them. Anyway, Dominic and Stephanie, when they're in the ring, they go back and forth in Spanish. And then Stephanie's trying to get Liv Morgan to pick her for WrestleMania. She will eventually. Then Liv calls, and Stephanie says she wants Liv to pick her so she can kick her ass. But that's when Liv calls Stephanie a puta. I thought that meant pussy. That's what I thought it meant, but no. In Spanish, puta means whore. I've now learned a new word in Spanish, puta. I don't think I'm going to call a woman that. I don't think that would go well, but that means whore. Liv was calling Stephanie a whore. Then Stephanie is so mad. She's so offended that Liv Morgan called her that word. Then she slaps Dom, and this was actually really good. I thought Liv had good delivery, but I thought Stephanie sold it so well. It's like, you don't call me puta. I thought Stephanie did really good here. I actually really liked this segment a lot. I thought this was good. Lara Valkyrie was out next, and then we got after the break, after Lara came out, we got the Women's WrestleMania 42 promo with all of them in that restaurant in Las Vegas. Then Ivy Nile came out back from the break. Rhea Ripley came out to a big pop. Then we got a women's qualifying match for Elimination Chamber. Lara Valkyria versus Rhea Ripley versus Ivy Nile. Match was full of botches. Crowd was doing the Firefly gimmick. They were into it. No one bought either of Lyra or Ivy winning. Rhea actually pinned Lyra after the Riptide. I thought she was going to pin Ivy for sure, but she pins Lyra and she qualifies for the Elimination Chamber. Backstage, Liv Morgan was talking to Raquel Rodriguez when Dominic Mysterio walks in. He was dejected, kind of embarrassed after Stephanie Vaquer hit him. And speaking of dejected, Finn was sitting down. Dom tells Finn that his championship window might be closed. And all I noticed was, where's Roxanne Perez? Why wasn't she here? I just hope she's not injured. The company doesn't need any more injuries. I hope Roxanne's not hurt. I hope everything's okay with her. I miss seeing her there, but no Roxanne tonight. That sucked. CM Punk headed to the ring. Then after the break, they show us the Vegas Strip to promote their WrestleMania 42 tickets, which I've heard are doing well, but not as well as last year. I guess the prices are really high, and last year's show absolutely sucked. The thing you have to remember is WrestleMania 41, which was a bad WrestleMania. I think WrestleMania 42 will be better as a show, but WrestleMania 41, which sucked, people didn't know it was going to suck going in, and it got the benefit of coming off of WrestleMania 40, which was one of the most popular WrestleManias ever. It was one of the most well-received WrestleManias ever to show in Philadelphia. So then the next year, Vegas is coming off that, and yeah, the show sucks, but going in, people don't know that. Now, next year, WrestleMania 42 is coming off of WrestleMania 41, which was a bad WrestleMania, so that's the issue it has. Also, Vegas, everything's expensive. The tickets are more expensive this year than they were even last year, which is crazy to even think about. In Vegas, everything, just travel there, man. Everything is so expensive now, so I think that's the issue. But Michael Cole was in the ring. He was ready to introduce CM Punk, but that's when Finn Balor came out through the crowd. He grabbed the mic and says he wants to wrestle Punk again. Then Adam Pearce came out with security. He says there's no path for Finn. Then CM Punk comes out. He takes the mic and says Balor doesn't deserve a title shot. He deserves an ass kicking. Punk wants to put his belt on the line against Finn. Pearce objects to it, but Punk insists. The match is official for Elimination Chamber. Cleveland got very upset tonight because they thought the show was, they thought that match was actually going to be in Cleveland, that they were just going to have a random title match unannounced on Raw. CM Punk and Finn Balor, no. The match is announced officially at Elimination Chamber, so Punk gets to wrestle in his hometown of Chicago. They had to get Punk on that show one way or another, so it's not surprising. And he will wrestle Finn Balor at Elimination Chamber. Then Punk asks Michael Cole to do the interview. This is after Finn Balor leaves. He asks why CM Punk is jeopardizing the WrestleMania main event. Punk cuts a passionate promo being a fighting champion, so obviously a shot at Roman because he's a part-timer. Backstage, Paul Heyman tells Adam Pearce he's responsible for Braun Breaker's injury. Then Pearce tells Heyman not to get involved in the qualifying match tonight. Then Logan Paul threatens Adam Pearce. Natty was out next, so no reaction, of course. There was no follow-up to her eliminating Becky at the Rumble. Natty took on Maxine Dupree. Natty just beats her down, throws her on the announce booth, and both get counted out. Then Natty applies the sharpshooter, puts Maxine in it, gets no reaction. AJ Lee comes out to stop it. Natty lets her go. She's so scared of AJ Lee, the new badass MMA fighter. Natty Neidhart. They call her Natty Rousey. That's what she is. Like Ronda Rousey's gimmick. And AJ's tending to Maxine. Then Becky jumps AJ Lee and she drives her into the ring post. So Becky gets the last word for tonight's show. The Kaiser Americanos wrote next with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I'm just going to call him Ludwig Kaiser. And I'm over this gimmick. I'm done with the Americano gimmick. Last year was actually kind of funny. It was cool. It was entertaining. Now I'm done with it. I don't want to see it anymore. I'm over it. So we had the two Americanos, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, taking on Javon Evans and the old El Grande Americano, Chad Gable. Gable and Evans won. After the match, Kaiser attacks Gable. They each try to remove each other's masks. I don't care about this. So on the break, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria were interviewed by not by Byron Saxton, by Vic Joseph from NXT. I guess, he's actually from Ohio, isn't he? Yeah, I think so. So it's not too, it is kind of far going from Ohio to Florida where he does NXT every Tuesday, but I guess he's from Ohio. Not much to say here. Bayley says she will be in the Elimination Chamber qualifying match next week, but she couldn't make the show this week. No Bayley on the show. I think she's done in September for sure. That's when her contract's up. I think she's gone. Then we got an Obafemi video package. Byron Saxton interviews Gunther after he choked out Dragon Lee last week. He says he's in a qualifying match next week. They preview next week's Raw. Then we get the main event, Penta versus LA Knight versus Austin Theory. Division got involved in the match. Then the Hooded Man returns and hits a stomp to Austin Theory. Then LA Knight gets the win after hitting the BFT on Theory. The show then ended. And then after the show, we got a memorial graphic for Jim Shank. He was a long-time production member for the company, so rest in peace, Mr. Jim Shank. Of course, you don't know who these people are, these production people, but they do have a lot to do with the company, how it's presented, how the TV show is presented, and a lot we see is because of them and how they set up everything. So glad they acknowledged his death. Rest in peace, Jim. That's sad to hear. So that was Raw. Not the biggest fan of it. Felt kind of like a throwaway show more so. I don't know. It's Cleveland. I know it's the road to WrestleMania, but it's kind of like the night after the Super Bowl. They don't get too much attention now. They also have the Olympics to deal with. And then, not a lot of stars are here for the show. So, I don't know. I guess the focus should be more on the Chamber than Mania. I think when the road to WrestleMania starts, we're kind of on the back roads. You have to take the back road before you get on the main highway sometimes. That's where we are with the WrestleMania build. When we get past the Chamber, then we get closer to the highway. Then, maybe we're on the expressway, the freeway, before, we're closer to our destination. But here, the road's just starting. Still 9.5 weeks. That's a very long time. It's 2 months. Lot of time until then. So we'll see how the road to WrestleMania shapes out. And, also, I had to mention this. So, Super Bowl this year is a blowout. Super Bowl last year was a blowout. WrestleMania last year sucked. Super Bowl this year, 2 blowouts in a row. Is WrestleMania going to suck 2 years in a row? It's in the same location. I don't know. That might be a bad omen. Hopefully it's not, and hopefully WrestleMania is good, unlike the Super Bowl.